got a shot to keep their fourth place hopes alive here in the HGC Open Division North America.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is no better way to end in a last game decider of a set, my friend, than playing on Towers of Doom, coming out as the pick from Divination themselves, trying to sweep up game number 3 and take their opponents out of cup number 7, getting as many points as possible in this last chance, as you mentioned, for teams to get that best seeding possible for playoffs.
So Towers of Doom, a map we've played in each and every set already this evening. We're going to see it for a third time. And I think the first two, they were actually pretty lopsided. I want to say the first one was like a 14-minute game. The second one was about a 15-minute game. Will we see another domination come out here from one of these teams on Towers of Doom? We will find out. But so far, I think the drafting for this map specifically might actually end up favoring Necrodancers. Like the Hanzo, this is a fantastic map for him. The Zeratul can find a ton of value, as we saw earlier this evening. The Blaze, I think, is fantastic. And Deckard Cain, of course, good on every single map. So I'm expecting Divination to try to pull out something different. This is their map pick, so I'm assuming there's something up their sleeves and ready to go for us.
Yeah, I would absolutely hope so. And maybe it is that Raynor Whitemane combo that they've been running so far against Necrodancers. And even though maybe the heals are not as obvious in certain situations, Whitemane did work out a lot better in game number 2 than game number 1. So is it something worth banning on the side of Necrodancers, either to take out that URL or to take out that Raynor? I would honestly maybe take out the Jimmy, remove that Pepper that just puts out so much damage later in the game.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you there. Raynor got a lot of value game number 2. I was a bit surprised I wanted to go with Raynor's Raider over just the push potential from the Hyperion. But it found some value. They got a lot of kills, so you can't blame them there. They had enough defense up against the combination of ultimates with that Void Prison, with that Dragon's Arrow. And ultimately, taking that win on Dragonshire has got to mean the world to them. And this game number 3, it's going to be a close game. I really don't see this ending up being lopsided in either direction. So look for BKB to potentially play as a noob rack again. I don't think it's a terrible map for a noob, and could potentially lead them to a victory here on map 3.
Yeah, and that is absolutely what they're looking for. And like you said, I don't know if this is going to be as lopsided. Both these teams have been so eager to trade blows all set long. So given how eager they are, that fire is there. This can be anyone's game, and it can't even be decided, I feel, in the draft. It's just who's going to come out mechanically on top, who's going to have that pressure built up throughout the game to really capitalize on those shrine phases. I feel like it can really go either way, depending mostly on how Necrodancers drafts, to be honest. I think maybe they learn that if they can't get the all-in on kills, perhaps they do need to pull out that backup siege damage this time around, as opposed to not having it on Dragonshire.
Yeah, another map we could be looking at a Sergeant Hammer. There's a quick Abathur ban. But I think, we saw earlier Faye playing Lost Vikings, and there it is, the ban on Lost Vikings. So very, very astute drafting so far by both of these teams. And knowing what they're up against on the other side and like how much is on the line right now, there's even the Urel ban, which has been a nuisance in these first 2 games. Finally, Dahaka, but this does leave open that Sergeant Hammer will be picked. First will be Maev, though.
Ooh, yeah, that Maev that's been banned out so much so far tonight in all of our games coming out. We've seen one game with that Maev that had so much value earlier this evening. So looking to make the plays, really get those tethers in, make sure they're capitalizing on those pills. So for me, this says that Necrodancer is still committed to the full-on kill potential of a draft.
Muradin, Deckard Cain. I think this is so wise, taking away the old wise man, Deckard Cain, away from the attacker, away from Necrodancers. Divination going to get their first crack at playing the Potion Master. I mean, for me, this is meaning that Necrodancers, you have to move off of what they want. They've already proven that they want the Decker Kane as often as possible. And now you see they're going to prioritize a Garrosh and a Jaina and save their support for the second half of the draft.
Yeah, get that flip in, make it easier from Maiev to get those targets, and also have that follow-up from the Jaina to slow those heroes, making sure they can't necessarily escape as quickly. You're taking away the slows that we had from Deckard? Well, we're going to pull in the Jaina instead and make sure there's additional damage on top of that, by the way. So perhaps even better for Necrodancers. We're having the White Main Band actually come out from Divination, who have been opting to run her so far this set, given that they've picking up the Decker Kane, not wanting to risk giving it over to their opponent.
Yeah, final ban on the clock right now for Necrodancers. Maybe get rid of like the Junkrat would have been a cool option. Instead, it's going to be the Rainer. I honestly maybe would have rather seen the Junkrat, which I think it's tremendous amount of value, able to poke out on the altars as they're being spawned. So it's going to be an option. Actually, it's going to be a Hanzo here picked up for Div, and that takes away a hero that Faye might have been wanting to play, especially after her Vikings were also banned out. So actually, I assume she's going to play the Jaina, so maybe that makes sense. But either way, they're moving off of heroes we've seen them play tonight, CatPeach.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of swaps of things Necrodancer has been running onto Divination. That is leaving room for this Kharazim, however, on Towers of Doom, followed up with a Malthael to boot to go into that Blaze matchup in the top lane. Hello, yes.
So what's going to be paired with Hanzo? Do they want to go with some sort of aggressive hero? I don't know if it's going to get what they want here. Maybe the protect from something like a Genji to stop the last rights from being an option on top of them. Instead, it's going to be Zeratul. So that's the aggression you're looking for. VP into something like a Jet Propulsion or a Dragon's Arrow. That's a significant amount of lockdown they can pull out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just want to welcome the folks over from the Blizz Heroes channel that just hosted us over. We are here still with Open Division on the other side of the bracket. So we are currently in game number 3 of Necrodancers versus Team Divination. It has been quite the matchup so far. So Towers of Doom coming in as game number 3 should be quite the interesting matchup. We've got a Malthael, we've got a Kharazim, we've got some interesting picks coming out from both sides as well, with that Zeratul being on Divination.
Yeah, I think, well, Noah, he actually played really well in game number 2. A storyline for me here, Liam not on his Urel for the first time in this set, instead playing Blaze. We'll see if he can have the same sort of domination, but Azariel playing Malthael, that is a great matchup for Necrodancers, and if they can use that strength of having Malthael win that lane for them, it could really set them up for success. But Zeratul's the one that you have to worry about if you are the Malthael player. You have to always keep an eye on the Shimmer.
Yeah, absolutely. The Shimmer will be the anxiety of this matchup for the members of Necrodancer. Here in the blue, we are going to have physicals on Maiev, Faye on Jaina, the attacker on Kharazim, Ezreal on Malthael, and Huff Money on Garrosh.
The battle begins.
And over on the right-hand side, we have Divination. Liam going to be playing that Blaze. Over in the middle lane, we see Murden played by BKB. And down at the bottom side already set up is Noah on Zeratul. Wolf going to play the Decker Kane. And Hanzo going to be played by Big.
Again, the mage play coming out from Faye tonight, so we're going to have to see how much snow she can dump onto the members of Divination here in game number 3. They do have a lot more wave clears we talked about than last time around in game number 2, so hopefully being able to push out lanes in their favor. I am wondering if we're going to see a third time around them taking the experience down in the early game, but they say no, we're going to get the kill onto Zeratul right away and trying to show that they mean business here, Murda.
Yeah, huge. Finding a Zeratul early. It's going to give them a bit of a lead here in the XP race to 4, which usually means you get the Pumpkin Sapper advantage in the bottom lane. We'll see how much they can push forward with that, but right now up top is Blaze all by himself, and Murden playing a bit of bully, making sure Malthael didn't have a safe rotation, so he's going to make a safe one up there, find his way back up to deal with Blaze, and here we go, Pumpkin Sappers on the map, and ripping through, especially with attacker on Kharazim so quickly are the Necrodancers.
Yeah, I am so excited to see how deep in the attacker wants to dive onto the members of Divination in this entire game. That Kara's team, sure, he's a support, but he's going to beat up your face in the time being while he's healing up his team as well. So definitely something that Divination needs to keep an eye on. Early experience lead coming in for Necrodancers as they're trying to get the steal onto the siege camp. Going in, the tether coming out for Minas, but BKB ends up getting tossed out of there. The snow coming down, try to convert the kill, but Big is able to push off the members of Necrodancers for the time being.
And so you did see Pumpkin Sapper stolen away there, and bottom side, this wall is already taking damage. One of the towers down, another 2 Pumpkin Sappers are ready to go, and they're gonna run at this wall. It falls. Now minions here hitting this tower, and with Garrosh throwing out some of the CC on BKB, they might be able to actually get this tower down as well, and it does go down, CatPeach. So a big lead here in the bottom lane for Necrodancers.
Yeah, absolutely. They are able to catch up finally on level 4 here, picking up equal talent here for themselves right before the altar phase should be spawning fairly soon. So both teams trying to get as much map advantage as they can before they spawn. We are going to have the 3 across the map. Are we likely to see the very usual trade out in top, focus in the mid, or is Divination going to try something else? They do have that Zeratul to maybe catch a surprise onto a Malthael in the top lane, maybe overextending too much. I see Noah and Liam positioning just for that, and they are trying to go in for the flank Murda. Noah going in, getting that damage out. Liam waiting to get the stun on the retreat there, and with the follow-up damage from Noah, Ezreal is still alive here, trading out for the heals. Noah ends up having to get out, and Liam trying to follow up on the kills, but Ezreal able to stay alive so far. An additional stun coming out, the heals coming out from the attacker. The bait's coming out from Ezreal here. I love to see it, Murda.
Yeah, but you know, you get away, it's a big deal. Actually, I'm surprised they're able to win the bottom side as well, because that was a very long engagement on Malthael. It gave him a lot of time to capture that bottom side. So that is one of the flashier plays you're going to see on Malthael, getting plenty of trait value from the heal. And also, you got to mention, he went into die alone, and there were 2 heroes on him, but he was able to pull it off anyway. That's, you know, surprising.
I know, and that just shows how much healing potential Malthael does have, especially when you had Malthael into that blaze, being able to get that percentage healing in and just stay alive through that whole fight, causing the members of Divination to almost waste a lot of time up there, giving Necrodancers the time to get those Shrine Catchers, get that early core experience lead that they talked about. We haven't seen them have the lead this early in the game so far in this set, so this is looking really good for Necrodancers right now.
Yeah, jet propulsion barely missing from Liam. He's going to go ahead and head on back. Bottom side, it's still being led by Necrodancers. They got that wall down earlier. Pumpkin Sappers are here right now as we speak. They are going to be cleared up. Maiev here, or excuse me, Zeratul here with Hanzo. I think we'll be able to get rid of those. But with the next altar spawning and both teams on level 7, this is really anyone's game right now. It's 36-32 in favor of Necrodancers, but there's going to be Pumpkin Sappers in the lane up against them, so potentially a bit of a advantage here for the members of Divination.
And I just want to say too, so far on that Frostbite quest, we don't have a lot of damage coming out from Faye. She's sitting very short at 848 in terms of stacking that right now. But she is able to get this shrine with protection from the rest of her team. Again, furthering that core health advantage that the team has. And Liam trying to go in for Ezreal yet again. We already know that this does not work out for Blaze. Not going to commit too hard to trying to get the kill. And we see Divination trying to escort these zappers into this bottom lane.
Yep, here they go. One. The rest will also connect. All 3 connect there. And retreating now safely will be Divination. They secured what they wanted with the Sappers, and they're going to try to help out Blaze a bit potentially up here with their Zeratul, because he's still doing a decent job against Malthael, but Malthael's really getting the better half. And look at this engagement bottom lane. Deckard Cain falling quickly, jumping on top with the entire squad of Necrodancers, and that kill, level 10, it might mean they want to go for an early boss here, CatPeach.
I saw a wolf, and then I stopped seeing a wolf at some point. Wolf just absolutely melted from that damage coming out from Necrodancers. No boss just yet. It looks like they might have eyes on BKB here in the bottom lane. I don't know if they're ready to go for a kill just yet, but level 10s are now spawning for Divination. They're finally on an equal talents here advantage, able to possibly make something happen once they regroup as a team. They were able to catch up a lot in experience that we saw that they lost early on. So I like to see this team. I like that they're coming together, and I like that they're going to start focusing a lot more and making sure that Necrodancers doesn't keep getting the picks that they've been getting all game.
Yeah, this next altar phase is pretty big. If you are the members of Divination, you do not want to fall behind. But right now you're on even talent here, so we'll see if they can find their engagement with their Zeratul. You see Noah, he's trying to come in here, but instead just going to go ahead and give up a trade there. Both teams picking up one of those altars, and no fight ended up breaking out. But here we go, BKB leaping forward with that Dwarf Toss, big Warlord's challenge on top of Liam. Void Prison gonna reset the fight. Some potions being thrown in with that stay a while and listen. Dragon Arrow follow-up. Is there enough damage yet for Quotient Slate? The big toss by Garrosh means it's a kill on Blaze. And now pushing back forward are the Necrodancers. BKB will be able to Dwarf Toss to safety. But what a play by Necrodancers, and they're looking for more. BKB could fall here. Noah trying to save the day, play the hero role. And that's all Necrodancers will walk away with, is the one kill on Blaze, but what a solid one it was.
Yeah, that was such a defense coming out from Divination there. You saw the bunker mid-air after that Void Prison ends up dropping, sawing that out just for a bit. And I was really happy to see that Necrodancers only getting the one kill, again with the beautiful defense coming out from Divination. But Noah looks like they're in a rock and a hard place. Heroic coming out from the attacker, trying to get the kill onto Noah, able to escape yet again. And Karazim went in so hard, ends up spending the 7-sided strike right before the shrine phase.
Fortunate for him, it's only about 7 seconds behind the altar activation, so he might get it up in a reasonable amount of time for this fight. Both teams posturing here. Zeratul going to play aggressive up in that front bush, seeing if he can find the Malthael trying to make his rotation and join his team. But here comes Noah. Has that Void Prison in 6 seconds. Keep an eye out for that. They're going to try to wait it out as long as they can. 3 seconds now. Keep an eye on Noah. This is what they need. Trying to set it up. Faye's going to go ahead and grab the first altar. Wolf going to grab the one on the other side. So we end up without a fight, CatPeach.
Yeah, no fight. And as much as I understand wanting to simply trade, Divination needs to find a way to get this core disadvantage taken care of for their side. They're down 8 core shots. Instead, they're going to go in for this fight. The Void Prison is coming out. The Dragon Arrow to follow as well. Stay a while and listening, trying to stall. Garrosh is the first to fall here, and the members of Divination going after Ezreal. A beautiful scatter arrow, the stun as well with the jet proportion coming out from BKB, and they're able to get 2 kills and get themselves closer to level 13. They're going for the siege camp. They know they have the ability to do so, and this might be the turning point where they can start turning things around in this match.
Yeah, they're going to be able to potentially get this fort down. These pumpkin sappers will be strong still. 3 seconds till Garrosh is up, another about 5 for Malthael. Right now it's only Maiev in defense. Karazim gonna join up. Pumpkin Sapper's starting to connect. There goes the first one. Fortunate for them, they didn't have that Pumpkin Sapper hit the tower. Instead it hit the fort. Faye up top gonna go ahead and grab away some Pumpkin Sappers in favor of Necrodancers. So they're gonna try to make a little counterplay on the top side, but Blaze is up there, should be able to clear it up.
Yeah, gonna try to clear that up as best as possible. We still have a while before these shrines actually activate. So the members of Divination rotating up. They see the Malthael there in lane. Noah going to back away from that entirely. Instead, grabbing this siege camp before this starts. But the members of Necrodancer absolutely have sniffed this out, and they are on the hunt. They are looking for a kill, or at least the camp steal here. And Divination doesn't see this camp as so valuable as to try to give their lives in order to defend it.
Yeah, they remember what happened earlier in the game when Necrodancers walked in and stole it and found first blood. This time they allow them to get it. They're going to go ahead and trade out up top. So bottom side is the only spot to watch right now. Huff Money playing the front. Faye's going to go ahead and grab it. And another favorable split for Necrodancers here in this altar phase.
Yeah, Containment Disc coming out onto that Murda. Not too much follow-up there, mostly used for disengagement there. I really need Divination to try to push more into one of these structures. If they're not going to try to capitalize on team fights and try to get kills before these shrine phases, they need to find something to alleviate this pressure, to stop this bleeding on their core. They have half as much health as their opponents do, and they have found no way to make that situation better. A beautiful, beautiful bait of the Jet Propulsion coming out from Ezreal as well. This fight looking like it's going to reset here, given that that kill was not able to be found for Divination.
That inevitable end there from Malthael kept them alive. The stun actually missed, but just having the heads up to pop that self-cleanse right away, making sure you don't get picked off in that spot. You cannot afford to be dying in this spot in the game as a Malthael. You gotta keep yourself alive. As now, Malthael up top might actually be jumped on here by Murda, and Hanzo also showing up very deep right now as Azariel, and here it comes. BKB as the Stormbolt, will he use it? Jumping around Azariel and already escaping. Inevitable end again, but there's the damage from Zeratul. They do find the kill on Malthael, and a single altar spawning bottom side should end up in the favor of Divination here.
Yeah, but they ended up trading Decker Kane down there in the bottom lane, so now it's 4v4, and Divination is without their healer for this next shrine. The flip coming out onto BKB, able to get out just fine. The 7-sided strike was also used, not getting too much damage put out, but Divination, I don't think they want to stick around here. Karazim still up for Necrodancers. This is a huge advantage. The attacker trying to get the channel onto the shrine, and Divination can do nothing but poke. The Void Prison does come out, followed up by the Dragon Arrow, trying to get the kill onto Jaina, and they end up getting it. The tether coming out from Physicals, getting Blaze and company to follow suit. Now, Divination pushing into this bottom lane, trying to find another kill. Ended up getting this shrine at the end of the day, which gives them a little more breathing room. Able to clean up, save their bottom bell tower, start looking for pressure, trying to get their own zappers, guide them into this bell tower. 16 achieved. That was everything they could have hoped for, Murda.
Finding 16, but they're about to be back on even talents as they're 16, but a great Jet Propulsion. Good cleanse there by Garrosh, popping all the way back with that Indomitable, but they will not be able to survive or keep this fort alive, rather, as BKB's here. Hanzo trying to rip through. Pumpkin Zappers right behind, and they won't even need the Zappers. Now threatening this bottom lane to push across. We'll see if Divination wants to play aggressive here and try to push them, or just give them up, and it appears they just want to give them up.
Yeah, give them up. Don't necessarily press that advantage. We know how eager Necrodancers is to fight, and they'll fight under a bell tower that's converted to their enemy. They have no problem with that. They know how far they're allowed to go in and how far they're not. And what Divination really does not want is to lose another member and give up another shrine later in this game. So not pushing that advantage too hard, trying to escort those zappers, is a great call on their part.
Yeah, they're still here in defense. I think big. This is really a spot where Hanzo likes to be, trying to defend this fort. Of course, they have the VP, they have that Dragon's Arrow, and the Stay a While and Listen. Their full combo's ready to go, and they're going to save it for this altar phase that's spawning in just about 15 seconds. They're setting up already with Decker Kane potions. They're ready to rip and roar, because this is, again, a spot in the game where they have 5 shots that are ready to go. If they can get this altar, they need to secure them to make sure that this game doesn't get out of control.
Noah going on the back, focusing on Ezreal. That is 2 trapped in the Void Prison. Stun going out onto BKB, though. 7-sided strike coming down, did a lot of damage. Stay a while and listen, being able to stun out Jaina for the time being. Ezreal getting incredibly low, but Zeratul is actually the first to fall, trying to capitalize on that kill. And this is suddenly turning for Jaina, who was caught for a while and as soon as got out of that sleep, ends up being focused on. So a 1-for-1 trade so far. Wolf going to be able to channel that shrine, get those 5 shots, but Liam looking for the kill themselves, end up pushing in a bit too far, end up falling there. So they got the shots, they lose a hero. They're still a bit of an advantage against their opponents, but they don't have the bodies on the map now. They're missing 2 as opposed to just the Jaina on the side of Necrodancers.
Yeah, and with the Altar Channel, there's really not much left here for Divination to do, except get pulled back into that 7-sided strike. Last rites will finish BKB off. And now it's time for Necrodancers. Look at this containment disc. Lock it in, Hanzo. He has natural agility over the wall, but Big, you are not escaping this attack from Necrodancers. They're going to be able to get back their fort. They might even be able to take away another one. Pumpkin Sappers are available on the side of Divination, and they are here. They're ready to take these away, and they're ready to regain control of this bottom lane, CatPeach.
Yeah, it seems like for every step forward Divination has been able to take in this game, Necrodancer says, no, we're going to push you 5 steps back. And so they got those 5 shots from the shrine, but the immediate turnaround coming out from Necrodancers, being able to convert this bottom bell tower, now having 5 in their favor, being able to get those few kills, get that additional experience. They're now eyeing down level 20, and there's a possibility they can get it before this bottom shrine ends up spawning. It's definitely not game ending just yet, but the odds are getting slimmer for Divination to turn this game around if they don't come up with a plan of attack, of trying to simply regroup. They're a bit separated for the time being.
Up top, Malthiel's falling. Malthiel's down. Oh my god.
Kidding. It's Malthiel.
It's the second time surviving up there. They put an all-in play with Zeratul and Blaze up top, knowing this altar was spawning. They were conceding it, instead trying to find that kill, and not getting the kill means that they're now down 8 shots, 15-7. And Divination, they got to start playing aggressive. They're not going to have level 20s before the members of Necrodancers. So here they go, making a play on the boss. And this is the aggression they absolutely have to pull out right now. Having that Hanzo, knowing that they can destroy the self bar quickly, they do secure the boss. And it will put them a little bit closer, but still down 4 shots, CatPeach.
That was such a dangerous boss call, knowing that you only have 4 as opposed to your opponent's 5. There's enough going on the rest of the map that they knew that they were able to at least start that boss and potentially finish it off safely. So great opportunity there. Stopping the bleeding just a little bit, but we still have 11-7, and depending on if Necrodancers maybe can later on get a Zapper Camp and escort those in and simply keep poking down on this core, Divination is in a rough spot. They're too scared. They're waiting on their minions to maybe go in and convert that bottom bell tower, so at least the shots are an even trade. Because if they take 5 shots to the core, that is going to leave them with 2. And with you're only with 2, there are so many win conditions on those zappers, waiting for that boss, on a shrine. If Necrodancers gets both of these, it's game over for Divination.
Here comes Tough Money trying to keep BKB there, but was not able to connect on that Groundbreaker. So altar spawning in 15. This is potentially a big moment for Necrodancers. They have opportunity with these altars to win the game, but they got to get both of them. So expect a big defense attempt from Divination as they're setting up in this push. Liam's up front on the Blaze, making sure all the vision and control is on that altar. Backside is going to be big, grabbing the first of the 2 altars, and now they're ready to make their play. 7-sided strike, going to be interrupted by that Void Prison. Big Dragon's Arrow playing the game coming out from Big, but isn't enough to get to these health bars. Azariel down first. They want to listen, and Decker King is dead. It ends up being a 1-for-1 as Malthiel came back with his level 20 talent. No one can stop Death. He'll be here in a moment, and there he is, Azariel back in this fight, but Noah starting to channel. Maiev trying to interrupt and will, but just being a bit of a nuisance as Noah is trying to rechannel and rechannel and rechannel, and he's not going to be able to get it. They're going to have to back this up, CatPeach.
Yeah, Necrodancers know that Divination doesn't have their healer and can keep pushing this in and taking advantage of that. Kerosene ends up falling though at the same time, but we have a 2-for-1 trade so far in this fight. Noah looking for the kill potentially on physicals, but it's only a Zeratul and it's only a Hanzo now. The vision is on Ezreal. Faye looking incredibly low though. Noah trying to go in for the kill and ends up getting it, but the damage coming out from Ezreal and Maiev is too much and Zeratul is going to fall. We only have Big here to defend this shrine, or this is game over for Divination. Almost. They're gonna have 4 shots coming in, and that is the GG. They are coming out. Game number 3 going over to Necrodancers, showing why they are the highest or higher seeded team in this matchup tonight, Murda.
Outstanding finish. That final fight was great. Azariel, no one can stop Death getting back in. Just a lot of fun. I had a great time with that one. Faye really coming through at the end. Before that last fight, was sitting with only 10,000 hero damage in the game. Ended up finding 12,000 in that final fight alone. Ended the game with 5 kills. And congratulations, Necrodancer, moving on to the quarterfinals.
Absolutely. And taking a look at the bracket real fast, we're going to see who they get to go up against, and it will be Scythe Esports, currently sitting at that #1 spot in the standings for Open Division. So it will definitely be a uphill battle. On the bright side, Storm Gaming coming in, taking out Reborn in the bracket. They are going to quarterfinals. Their dreams are still alive to make it to top 8 to get to those quarterfinals next week, Murda. How exciting is that?
You don't just move to America to try to play an HGC Open and make your way into the pro scene and give up that easily. Storm Gaming still alive. That's exciting. I'm super thrilled to see what's going to happen there.
Absolutely, and it'll be great, and we will reprise all that action tomorrow. So make sure to tune in both here and at the Blizz Hero stream to see what happens and what the final standings are going into playoffs next week. As a reminder, we do have that lovely Patreon that has been being plugged in chat. So if you want to support HeroesHype and the work we do, the events that we throw at different conventions and events here in the Heroes of the Storm scene, make sure to check that out, and make sure to come join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter and on Facebook to make sure you know when all the events and action are happening. Murda, this was a blast. I'm so glad we got to wrap up Open Division. You and I, Cup #7. We'll have to see what happens next week, my friend.
Absolutely. A lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me, CatPeach. As always, it's a pleasure. And I am very stoked to see the conclusion. Scythe Divination. We got Storm also moving on. Still waiting to see what's going to happen with Freebirds and Team MinMax as they are in game #2. But what a great set and great night overall, CatPeach.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to wrap it up here. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. We had such a blast, and we hope that you tune in tomorrow for the conclusion of Cup #7 here. So have a great evening, and we will see you then.